How is the evolution of AI dependent on advancements in storage technology? This is a topic I want to explore today because I'm going to be joined by the Senior Director of AI and Leadership Marketing at a company called Solidigm. And they're a leading global provider of innovative flash memory solutions and NAND flash memory solutions. And as AI and enterprise workloads demand faster and more efficient data processing, Solidigm's state-of-the-art SSDs are right at the forefront of enabling these advancements. So I want to explore the importance of SSDs in accelerating AI, how Solidigm is collaborating with customers to deliver unparalleled storage solutions, and dive into a world where cutting-edge storage meets groundbreaking artificial intelligence. The cost of hosting a daily show for 140,000 monthly listeners can be significant, and I'd like to take a moment to thank those who make it possible for me to keep delivering this content every day to you all. And I also want to talk about the fact that legacy DRM failed to securely enable external collaboration on sensitive files. And I think it's important to recognise that organisations in this digital age face a somewhat risk-trust contradiction. Yep, they must share content with untrusted third parties while also protecting that data. So it's time for a more modern DRM solution, one that solves this dilemma but without compromising security and productivity. So, collaborators, imagine editing files externally without losing control. Stream zero latency video renditions to authorised users, but without any actual file transfers needed. The co-author can view it remotely while you retain full ownership. Your files stay protected in Kiteworks Secure Enclave. Ultimately, they never leave your environment, so you can say goodbye to data leakage risks and experience seamless editing across all file types, not just native applications, without any plugins required. So say goodbye to deployment headaches, file transfer risk, collaboration barriers, and all those productivity constraints, and experience a more modern way to collaborate on sensitive content, sacrificing control or security. And you can do all that by visiting kiteworks.com to get started. And with my thank yous out of the way, I'm now officially excited to introduce you to today's guest. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way stateside, where today's guest is waiting to join me. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell everyone listening a little about who you are and what you do?
Sure, Neil. Thanks. Thanks for the opportunity to be on your show. I am Roger Corell. I work for Solidigm. It is a U.S.-based, but with a global presence, storage company for data centers. And specifically, in terms of what I do, I am the Senior Director of AI and Leadership Marketing at Solidigm. So what does that mean? It means the team kind of develops solution-level value propositions for our storage products, not just across the AI data pipeline, but really for all data center workloads, whether it's in the cloud or whether it's enterprise, that our drives support. And then diving in a little bit more in terms of actually what that means that we deliver. Again, we come up with the solution value propositions. We drive influencer marketing programs. We manage product launches, product campaigns, and kind of lead the development of our kind of technology and thought leadership narratives.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast today. There's so much hype around AI right now, and we're already seeing in the last few weeks and months that everyone from Samsung to Apple are ensuring that the next generation of smartphones are ready for AI, ready to handle that. So I'd love to set the scene for our conversation today as we move into this new era. For people listening, hearing about Solidigm for the first time, how do your solutions specifically enhance the performance of AI applications? And also, what role do they play from the core to the edge of enterprise operations? Because this is the stuff we don't talk about enough sometimes, I think.
You're absolutely right. We don't talk about it enough, Neil. I think rightfully so. The conversation up to this point has been largely focused on NVIDIA, for obvious reasons, and specifically their GPUs. Yeah. But it feels like now the market is just kind of beginning to get their arms around understanding that storage plays an incredibly important role. And as you said, an important role all the way out from what we call the core data center to the mid-tier infrastructure. and all the way out to the edge. And why does storage matter? Well, AI gets, stating the obvious, AI gets better with more and more data. And I don't want to bore you with how much training data sets are growing in size year on year, and model sizes are growing year on year. But the amount of data feeding these model developments and then doing the inferences is just really growing in order of magnitude every year. And that's going to get even, more data intense when you talk about multimodal AI. So multimodal AI is when you're combining things like text, image, video, audio, all into the same AI model. And as we've kind of alluded to, these compute resources to run these, to do the model development and then infer the results at the end of the pipeline, they're incredibly expensive. On the front end, when you talk about training, I don't think you can acquire a DGX H100 server from NVIDIA for under $300,000 US. So you don't want those incredibly expensive resources sitting idle. And as you alluded to, Neil, and these workloads are moving to the edge to improve experiences, reduce costs, reduce network traffic, et cetera. And so what does this environment mean? What does this landscape mean to storage? It means that you've really got to move a massive amount of data and efficiently store it and access it at speed, seemingly everywhere. And this is where, high performance, dense, highly efficient SSDs come in. Just a quick comparison to kind of the legacy storage that is running a lot of these, supporting a lot of these AI workloads, which is HDDs. Depending upon where you are in what we call the AI data pipeline, an SSD can be 10x to 4,700x faster than an HDD. A high cap SSD can store 4 times as much data in the same rack space as an HDD, while consuming almost 3x less power per terabyte of data stored. So just incredible gains when you talk about the workload intensity of AI and the need to keep these very expensive resources fully utilized.
Wow, so many powerful stats in there. And here we are talking today in August. You've got a new product launching. And for anyone that missed the announcement today, can you tell me a little bit more about the launch and also how it differentiates itself from, let's say, existing solutions out there in the market?
Yeah, sure. So we're really excited that we're launching a new family of products. It's PCIe Gen 5. So these products kind of fit into what we call our D7 family. And these products will fundamentally deliver the highest, now, not to get too geeky here, but in the storage industry, Neil, people talk about 4 corners performance. So that is the IO pattern between compute and storage. Is it 100% writes, 100% reads, 100% random reads, and 100% random writes? Those are the 4 corners. So not only is this drive going to deliver the industry's fastest 4-corner performance in a PCIe Gen 5 product, but and I think we might be getting into this a little bit later, what sets Solidigm apart is we engineer for the real world. In reality, no workload is going to 100% of the time be at those 4 corners. So understanding the real IO patterns of our customers, we do special things in firmware to optimize them for kind of these behaviors in a real production environment. And so this really is going to set these drives apart in terms of, just massively accelerating a range of enterprise workloads. And getting back to AI really quick, we believe, we talked about GPU utilization. We believe that this product is going to be really, really well positioned as direct attached storage inside of that, using the DGX H100 example, inside that same rack to really maximize GPU utilization during critical AI steps like checkpointing and restore.
And I suspect you've probably got the ear of a lot of customers who are communicating with you that they're going all in AI. They have evolving needs and requirements. So I'm curious, how do you collaborate with your customers to tailor storage solutions, meet those specific and maybe unique needs? And why is this approach important in the context of enterprise storage? Because I imagine it's a conversation you're hearing more and more of.
Again, it's a really good question. I think what sets us apart. Well, let me back up a couple steps. So when you talk about kind of our legacy, our DNA, our heritage, whatever we want to call it, we have Solidigm has a bit over 3 decades of storage industry experience. And that really kind of gives us, and the storage experience is multi-level at multiple technical levels. We are talking engineer to engineer in terms of strategic product planning, engineer to engineer in terms of design, test, validation, et cetera. And these kind of long-standing deep technical relationships spanning enterprise and spanning cloud service provider customers ours. This really kind of gives us, we think, kind of a leg up on our competition to do things that are unique in the industry, that really set us apart in terms of differentiating value. It's things like firmware optimizations that I alluded to a minute ago that improve performance in real world conditions. It's things like integrating more and more of our customer test into our test suite to kind of, multi-level benefits there, provide higher quality product to our customers. And because we're doing kind of, if you will, more work for them, we are accelerating their time to market opportunity as well.
And before you came on the podcast, I was having a look on, I think it was one of your social channels. It'd probably be LinkedIn. And there's a great tagline there, that Solidigm, you expand the possibilities of data that fuel human advancement. So we're just talking about real world conditions there. Are there any real world applications where Solidigm SSDs have significantly accelerated workloads while lowering costs? Is any of those kind of stories you can share with us today? Because I suspect that many tech projects now, especially in an era of economic uncertainty, they're challenging doing more with the same or more with less. And equally, they've got those big, expensive tech projects they need to get over the line. So I'd love to bring that to life a little if you've got any use cases or stories.
Yes, I can share a couple with you. Again, sticking with kind of the theme that we're on here today, Neil, in terms of AI, there is a hyperscaler customer of ours who I can't name, but this hyperscaler moved their AI ingest and data preparation from HDDs to Solidigm SSDs and reduced the time that it takes to kind of complete those 2 key AI data pipeline phases, reduce the time by nearly 50x.
Wow.
We have a customer in the U.S. named Ocient, Ocient. This is a really interesting customer, and I would encourage your listeners to look them up. They claim that a combination of their really powerful software along with the hardware stack they use, which includes our QLC SSDs, that they can reduce energy consumption of intense workloads. So think things like HPC, big data analytics, AI. They can reduce the energy consumption of these intense workloads by 50 to 90%. And when you talk about the I guess kind of the power constraint or power challenges that AI data centers are up against, you can see how this is tremendous value. And then just across a range of OEM storage innovators, CSPs, companies like Supermicro, VAST, Taboola, Innonet, Dell, Kingsoft, Cheetah Raid, HPE, ByteDance, etc. All of these customers kind of value the unique combination enabled by our high cap leadership in terms of density, efficiency, and performance.
And again, to drill down on that a little, is there anything you can share or maybe help businesses understand the kind of business value and ROI that we're talking about in our conversation here? Is there anything else you can share that will help listeners understand Solidigm's technology, help them unlock the potential of data for your customers, and also how that contributes to that tagline we mentioned a few moments ago about fueling human advancements? Anything you can share around that?
I think maybe the best example is, so let's assume that AI is primarily used for altruistic reasons.
Yeah.
So let's assume that. I think the best example then is if you just look at the potential of AI to solve massive problems, improve the quality of life. Okay, so how do our products kind of play into that as as that being an example of fueling human advancement? Well, again, at the risk of getting repetitive, AI doesn't happen without massive amounts of data. Data doesn't happen without storage, and scaling of AI to reach its potential doesn't happen without high capacity, highly efficient and performant storage. So that's kind of AI as an altruistic example of how we, believe that our technology can help fuel human advancement.
Love that. And I'm curious, considering Solidigm's origins in Intel's innovation and SK Hynix leadership, how is that, or has it influenced your approach to developing and delivering cutting-edge storage solutions? I feel there's got to be some kind of synergies there, or is there anything that you can share around that?
Well, yeah, I think it's a combination of this heritage within Intel, which I'll touch on a bit more, and then our ability to invest to sustain leadership, that enabled by SK Hynix as our parent corporation. So kind of getting back to the Intel element of that, what makes us unique again is kind of this platform solution, I guess, customer-centric approach that Intel took and is and still takes, and it is part of our DNA. And this mindset, if I could, be I love history, so I'm going to kind of click into a bit of history here. This mindset has delivered this long legacy of storage industry innovation. What many of your listeners might not know is that we shipped the first flash disk in the form of into an IBM PC in 1992.
Wow.
Our heritage goes back to us co-creating the PCIe spec in 2003. We co-founded the Open Compute Project, which is an incredibly important, industry consortium that sets hardware standards for hyperscalers and more. We invented the ruler, Neil. If you or your listeners have ever seen these long, skinny SSD form factors, that was called the ruler, and then we donated that to SNIA, and that became the EDSFF specification, which is increasingly the preferred kind of modern form factor for multiple reasons. We were the first to ship QLC SSDs into the data center. We lead in high cap storage now with our 61.44 terabytes drive. So kind of if you, I guess, step back and kind of look at all these things coming together, this investment enabled by our parent corporation, this history of legacy, this kind of customer first mindset. All of this is now kind of coming together into, we believe that our technology is kind of led us to our technology meeting the AI moment in terms of storage challenges and opportunities.
Love that. I had no idea. And if we look to the future, what trends do you see in the future of SSD technology, especially in relation to AI? And how would you say you're positioned to lead in this continuously evolving landscape that seems to be unfolding in real time before our eyes at the moment?
Yeah, that's an interesting observation. We think that, I don't know. Let's go. What is today? Wednesday. We go back last Wednesday. Boy, we've really got an understanding of the AI landscape and what it means to storage. And here we are a week later. Oh my gosh, this new thing is emerging, and it seems to, be having implications on storage. So this is just this is the Wild West. This is such a rapidly evolving industry, but super exciting. And so I think our portfolio is well positioned now, and the investments that we'll make is well positioned to continue our portfolio leadership. So drilling into that a little bit, as we've alluded to several times, efficient performance, high cap SSDs is certainly critical. That's critical to overcoming the can be a key part of solving the power requirement challenges for AI data centers. We will continue to invest in, we're 100% vested in sustaining high cap leadership. So I think we kind of start there. We will have the next capacity point beyond 61.44 terabytes in market by the end of the year. We talked about the edge a bit. And if you your listeners are probably familiar with the term data gravity, and the more and more, as much as possible, you want to store, analyze, act on data where that data is produced. It's very expensive to move data up and down the wire. AI workloads are moving to the edge, and so we're looking at capabilities on what more can we do with data at the edge. So kind of stay tuned for more there. And we think performance leadership is key as well. And it's especially key, if we talk about GPU utilization and that kind of direct attach storage element to keeping these $300,000 GPU servers fully utilized. So we will invest to sustain our performance leadership as well.
Wow, so much food for thought there, and a few teasers as well. So I think we will have to get you back on towards the end of the year to find out more about some of those things. But I cannot thank you enough for coming on here and sharing your insights around AI and the power of SSDs to enable it, and also mentioning the product launch, of course. But before I let you go, I'm going to ask you to leave everyone listening with one final gift. And I always ask my guests, is there a book that you can leave to add to our Amazon wish list, or a song to add to our Spotify playlist? Guilty pleasures are allowed there as well. But all I'm going to ask is, what would you like to leave everyone listening, and why?
Okay, I'm actually going to answer that in two parts, and you can cut one of them out if there isn't enough time. But in terms of book, I often refer to, there's a book by a British author, Richard Holmes, called The Age of Wonder. Yeah. I think your readers, you having a technology podcast, I'm sure they're interested in scientific discovery. This is about the wave of scientific discovery that occurred in England kind of between the late 1700s through mid 1800s. And it really is a testament to kind of the capacity of the mind and human inquisitiveness to solve seemingly intractable challenges. And then love the question, because I'm also a huge music fan. My favorite artist by far is Ray LaMontagne. Not sure if he's big in the UK, but it's encourage your listeners to check him out. Chill vibe. He's dedicated to his craft. He's hardworking. My absolute favorite song of his is Such a Simple Thing.
Wow, a fantastic artist. Yeah, I used to be a huge fan. I think it was Hold You in My Arms. That must be.
Yes.
For me, yes. It feels like a few years ago. It was probably more like 20 years ago,
Yes. He just dropped a new album, Neil, a couple weeks ago, and my wife and I are going to see him in concert for probably the fourth time, sometime later this year.
Wow. Well, I will certainly get both of those added to our Amazon wishlist and the Spotify playlist. Great choices. And for anyone listening wanting to find out more information about Solidigm and explore some of the topics we talked about today, anywhere in particular you'd like to point everyone listening?
Sure. I think the best spot to start is probably our website, www.solidigm.com. That is how you pronounce it. Solidigm, combination of solid and paradigm. It's spelled SOLIDIGM. And since we talked, also, Neil, since we talked quite a bit about AI, we have a really informative AI page. It's under the Solutions tab on our website.
Fantastic. Well, I will have links for the blog posts that will accompany this episode so people can find all that stuff nice and easy. And one of the things I've loved chatting with you about today is talking about AI, but looking beyond the hype and how your storage solutions are helping to unlock the performance and are tuned for modern real-world applications. But I think the end goal here is accelerating workloads while lowering costs and scaling efficiently. I think it's a bit of a utopia for a lot of businesses that are aiming for that, but you're proving you can do just that. So thank you for sharing your story with me today. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Neil. Thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
I think, as we've seen today, the future of AI is closely intertwined with the advancements in storage technology. And a big thank you to Roger for giving us a glimpse into how their latest SSDs are not only setting new standards for performance, but also efficiency and reliability across the entire industry. And I think by optimizing storage solutions for real-world applications, they're not only accelerating AI and enterprise workloads, but they're also paving the way for future innovations. But the big question is, how do you see the role of storage evolving in the realm of AI? I'd love to hear your thoughts. So let me know, techblogwriter@outlook.com, Neil C. Hughes on all the usual social channels. But thank you for joining me today. Stay tuned for more insights into the technologies shaping our world. Join me again tomorrow where I've got another guest lined up, and I will speak to you all bright and early tomorrow. Bye for now.